The Neutral Zone,
next,
with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to thank Maui Arts and Music Association, Treemakers Foundation of Maui, for their support. Since 1991, with hundreds of television shows and their MauiArtsandMusic.com website, they have championed self-sustainability on Maui. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. and replayed Saturday at 7 a.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui. Good morning, everyone. It's 11 o'clock on Monday. It's the Neutral Zone. I'm your guest. Listen to that. I'm Jason Schwartz. Welcome to the show.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of wealth and taste. I've been around for a long, long year. So many men sold away. And I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of doubt and pain. Made damn sure that Pilate washed his hands and sealed his face. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. But what's puzzling you is the nature of my game.
Boy, that wasn't Mick Jagger. That was me. You know, I was over at Maui College, and Joel Katz had a class for recording, and they wanted someone to sing the lead on the song, so they brought me to sing Sympathy for the Devil. So I thought, make it fun. We are here with Gary Leavitt. Those out there who are on Maui and breathing know that there is someone that we have here that's very special. We have stolen him from, I want to say, all the great metropolises of the world. You're a New York guy like me, are you?
I am indeed.
Gary Leavitt is he has so many titles and roles, but I know him as, when I first met him, I thought he was a stand-up comedian. And then someone said, no. He is the musical director of the Maui Academy of Performing Arts summer shows, the big productions. He's the man. And then my partner Ariel said, oh, we also have this Maui Choral Arts. You should come sing. Gary is just so much fun to work with. I could not resist putting Gary Leavitt on our show for all of you who don't know him to join us happy people that know Gary Leavitt. Welcome to our show, Gary.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
Now, we're on radio, you know, KAKU 88.5 FM, but we're also on Facebook Live, and you're on YouTube, and you'll see us up at Maui Neutral Zone, so you'll be able to see Gary. When I first saw Gary, I thought he was a stand-up comedian, and only because I should stop talking and let him deliver the lines. He is so funny. You know, when you go into music rehearsal, I'm on the 28th of this month at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center. You should speak with me, because otherwise I'm going to dominate here for a while. There's a show. Those were the days. The Maui Choral Arts Group. How many years have you been doing that?
I've been running the organization since 2012. I sang with the organization much longer than that. In fact, when I first moved to Maui back in 2001, when it was under different leadership, and then I took the helm in 2012 when we went through a reorganization. See,
I guess I've been asleep, but this group is open to anyone that wants to sing?
Yes. We kind of pride ourselves on not having auditions. We want anyone who has the desire and the love for singing to come and join us. And I basically tell people, if you can carry your tune in the bucket, just bring your bucket and I'll teach you the rest, and we'll be fine.
And some people read music, some
don't
read music.
We have the broadest spectrum, I think, of singers that you might find in any community organization like this. As you said, we have people who not only read music, we have people who have been professional singers and have performed on stages all over the world. In the past, we've had singers singing with us who have been singers who have actually performed at the Metropolitan Opera. And then all the way down at the other end of the spectrum, we have people who really just like to sing in the shower and then decided, well, it would be inappropriate if I sang with a bunch of other people in the shower. So I'll go over here and I'll sing instead. And this is what we have.
Well, when you go to these shows, I think it's a toss-up, because your introduction of each piece and the way you interact with the audience make that experience as memorable as the singing. And the singing is memorable. I have a couple of clips we may stick in just to show you some music we have seen these guys do. But I am amazed at the detail. You know, you have a background in music, clearly and obviously.
I do.
What were you doing before you got to Maui?
Well, you know, life takes us on very interesting journeys, which ultimately bring us to Maui, and we've all had different journeys that bring us there.
Oh, yeah.
If you go back about 1.5 million years ago, in the early 1800s, when I actually was still in college, I went to the New England Conservatory of Music, and that's actually what I studied. I was a dual major in vocal performance and conducting, and so I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to have performed on stages all over the world. I've performed in Carnegie Hall multiple times, at Lincoln Center, blah, blah, blah. I've done concert tours in Ireland, Australia, and Romania, and Bulgaria, things like that. But it was through my day job at the time, which was in the financial services industry, that brought me to Maui initially.
I see.
And then I planted my roots musically pretty quickly, and then just started enjoying my singing, which has still been an avocation for me my entire life.
Well, it's interesting you call it an avocation because I don't know of your other life. Are you still in financial services?
No, I'm a federal employee, actually.
I see. Okay. So you're now in a totally different world that I think is there to support your music career, in the sense of here on Maui, you are absolutely a gift to all of us. Every time there's anything that you're involved in, the music is excellent. People know how to hit their mark and sing their parts, and they do it with joy because you just really add so much to the experience.
Well, I think if I can do anything, it's hopefully to just enable that inner joy and love of music that most people have within them. You know, I don't try to impose my own thought processes on that. I just try to open people up and let them find the tools that they need in order to discover the beauty of singing or performing on their own. It's the same thing I do when I do the summer musicals with MAPPA, same thing I do with Maui Choral Arts. You know, it's one of those things, I think, that music is something that is in our DNA. I think it's something that's part of the universe around us. And I think some people just maybe need a nudge in the right direction to tap into that. And once they do, they find that joy of music. And for some people, that's in singing. For some people, that's instrumental music. You know, I was also an instrumentalist for many years. I played clarinet for 1,000 years and a couple of other things here and there. But I think if we can tap into that, it lets us free up a certain part of ourselves that we all desperately need.
Yeah, and you sure give it to that joy to a lot of people that are in your group. How many do you figure you have singing this time?
Well, it's interesting because it varies, you know, semester to semester. Our Christmas concerts are always our most heavily supported by our singer base, and we have averaged out at about 100 singers now.
100
which
singers.
is kind of crazy. We have, I think, 85 that are going to be on stage for this spring concert.
I see. Wow.
Which is pretty cool.
Even people like me, you know, I often think of myself as a lead singer, but singing with a group is a very different experience.
It's a different experience, but it's a very rewarding sense of community to have this shared sense of purpose to create this thing from nothing that we do and then share it with people, which I think is wonderful.
And you have such dedicated people that come back season after season after season to be part of what you're doing.
It's a ton of fun.
It is. Well, this show that's coming up, those were the days. When I was a kid, I remember that song, but I was thinking about the early 1900s. It is sad to think that we're looking back and thinking that the 60s, 70s, and 80s are looking back. What?
Got news for you. We're not as young as we think we are. Neither of us.
I understand that. Well, this music show, I mean, I was reading off the songs. What a great bunch of songs. How do you choose your music? You have a...
Well, you know, I take a dartboard. No.
But
what I do is I try to... well, the Christmas concert is obviously easier to figure out because, you know, at least I know sort of what the material thematically needs to be. And I try to keep it around holiday or winter music. And then my goal with those seasons, that half of the semester, is to find interesting arrangements of things that people might recognize. So I'll find things that have an interesting melody that they may have heard before, a Christmas tune they may know, and then find a very creative and new interpretation of it and bring that to people. Because I think we like to make things fresh and find stuff that's really interesting and different. As far as the spring concerts, those themes vary year to year. And that tends to be basically my whim as to what direction we're going to go. We've done a summer of just opera choruses. We've done a summer of just Broadway music. We've done, last summer it was all women composers.
I see.
And then this year, there was some feedback from people. They wanted to have sort of a retrospective of some of the great music of their younger years. And I said, well, why not? Let's dive in and do the 60s, 70s, and 80s and have some fun with it. Once we figure out the theme, then it's a matter of finding the actual arrangements we're going to use. And I listened to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of arrangements.
I'm sure you must.
To try to find arrangements that are musically accessible, something at a level the chorus can do, and yet still interesting and different, that make them unique and fun, and then put it all together.
Well, I listened to some of those things that you give us to. Is really provides. Not only do we all get to have tremendous support with, we have music scores to follow, and we have videos of past performances. You add a great spin. I've never seen any videos online that rival the kind of performance you get out of your people. I know it's a little bit different. They may be polished, some of them in some ways, but you have a great knack of taking raw material and turning it into a great finished product.
Thank you. And all it is helping people uncover their own talents. I like to think that I really just have a very small part in that, really. I just sort of crack open the can and see what pops out.
Oh, but you say that, and yet I watch as you take a passage that is sitting, I can see it musically going by, but you highlight every little, that was a double F, not a single F. How can we build if we don't start somewhere lower? I mean, you really take the novice and involve them in music. In a way, I remember when I was a kid, there were always these people on TV that were like working with kids. These are like big kids. These.
Yeah, and hopefully they have as much joy as the little kids have when they approach these types of things. I'm told that I perceive music in a somewhat unique way. I tend to hear and see music in a three-dimensional way. And so my challenge is to communicate what I'm seeing and hearing and experiencing and what I think the music should end up looking like and feeling like and be shaped like, and then conveying that to everyone in a way that they can understand and then draw from their own and then sort of get some perspective of where I'm coming from. And then they jump on the bandwagon, and then off we go.
I see. Well, it is very fun to be in your group. And any of you out there that can sing, let's see if we can hit 200. I don't know if you want 200 people.
I'd be very happy with 200.
Oh.
I raise the bar every year, and I tell them every year. I said, last year, the bar was 100, and we hit it.
Right.
I'm being realistic, I think. I'd like to see for the Christmas concert, I'd like to have 120.
I see. Okay.
I don't think that's unreasonable based on the way we're going right now. When you come and you sing with us, people often come in and they're a little overwhelmed initially in the first couple of weeks. It's like a lot gets thrown at you initially, and I tell them, just stick it out, and you'll start getting into a groove, and you'll find you start to get it. Plus, there's also the resources on the outside, the sectional rehearsals, the practice tracks, and all those things.
Your
that help
people
you
are
get
so
all done.
dedicated to doing all that it takes to do an excellent job for you. You're like the proud papa as you get out there.
Absolutely.
We had an experience. Ono, a one night only, happens in Wailuku. I can let Gary explain it. The WPAA had a show at the EAL Theater. What is the WPAA? Give the audience a little
The
idea.
WPAA is a fairly new organization, and it's an umbrella organization that's come together with the 5 major performing arts organizations that utilize Wailuku either to rehearse or perform in. So you've got MAUI Choral Arts, you've got MAUI on Stage over at EAL Theater, you've got MAPPA, Maui Academy of Performing Arts, you've got the Maui Pops Orchestra, and then you've got the Maui Chamber Orchestra. So those are the 5 groups. And what we tried to do was, we've never done anything all together to sort of showcase what everybody does.
It's great.
And so we took the opportunity of these Onos, the one night only series that they do at EA Theater, to bring all 5 of the groups there and just kind of showcase for 15 minutes apiece a little bit of what the others does. And it was really, really useful. First off, it was pretty much sold out, and it was a free event, which was everyone's favorite price. I know it's mine. And it gave people the opportunity who maybe only go to watch their kids dance at MAPA, for instance, who might never have heard an orchestra play. And they heard, a wonderful double quartet of orchestra musicians play. And maybe now they'll be inspired to go watch an orchestra concert and maybe be exposed to something culturally that they hadn't done before. Or whether it's some of the theater kids who had never thought about singing in a chorus before, who may now want to come and join and sing a chorus, whether it be with us or with another chorus. There are a couple of choruses on the island that specialize in different types of music. Anything that inspires these people to then sort of what we call cross-pollinate and expose themselves to different areas of the arts and the culture that's available on this wonderful island. We like to say that Maui is definitely the arts island. Considering the size of our population, we have the largest number of arts organizations of any of the islands in the Hawaiian state. We've got 3 major theater organizations going on the island. We've got 2 orchestras. We've got major theater programs going on. We've got a couple of choruses that go on simultaneously throughout the year. And so we're very fortunate to have all this expression of the arts available right here on Maui with all local talent. So that's exciting.
And I think that many people, or almost everyone, that goes to the theater or goes to any of these performances feel that the things they see on Maui rival anywhere they've seen in the world.
Absolutely.
Really
one of the things we like to be careful of, some people tend to say, well, that was really good for Maui. And we don't want people to say that.
Right.
We want people to say, wow, that was the most amazing performance of this that I've ever seen.
Well, the WPAA has been, I think, a really great thing, not only to bring all the arts organizations together to showcase, but they stand strong for Wailuku Town.
Yes, that's correct.
The revitalization of Wailuku Town. We hear all kinds of things in the news about the parking structure and the new building, but the MAPA people, by example, put their money where their mouth is, and they're going to build a second black box theater
right in Wailuku.
So our future in Wailuku is exciting, and that group that highlights all the Wailuku thing. It's a great and supportive group, and I think that all our audience, you should come out, I think, to this April 28th show. If you haven't been to a Maui Choral Arts performance, you're going to be there, and then everyone after that. I mean, it's a growing group of admirers. I'm really very excited that the Wailuku group has come together in that way with all the arts. I'm the Maui Arts and Music Association, and when I talk about Maui, I think of some place that can showcase to the whole world. So, in my mind, WPAA is one of the most important groups as part of what we do to try to showcase to the world the incredible talent we have here.
Absolutely. We're so fortunate to have the breadth and depth of talent available to us on this island. And it's fun because what I like to do is when I do the summer shows over at MAPA, whenever those shows are over, I'm like, well, if you've been enjoying singing for the last 16 weeks getting this show ready and you're sad that it's over, come sing with me and you'll learn a different set of skills, which then you can apply to your next musical theater production. Same thing. If you've been doing chorus with me, go out for one of the musicals. You'll learn a whole different set of skills to go and do musical theater, and get involved on the different sides. And that's how we've grown. When I took over in 2012, we had 35 singers.
Wow.
And so to have grown that quickly and pretty much sustainably to this 85 to 100 singer range, it's really exciting. And
you are majorly a reason. Because once you have an experience like me, I like singing as a solo, and now I'm here singing with your group, and I'm enjoying myself. It's just the experience of being there and the way you work, and you're very professional. You're very casual, but you're very professional, and you hit your mark, and you bring up the tone of the room all the time. And you've been able to get a tremendous piano player in Lotus Dancer.
She's amazing.
Right?
She's amazing.
So, fantastic that you've been able to inspire, and have someone like her who works so carefully through all kinds of passages. It is a really wonderful experience. So, I mean, it's a rough thing. You want to be on stage and out in the audience at the same time. So for this round, I think those that aren't in it, you got to come and see this. And next time, some of you are going to want to join in the ranks.
Absolutely. And I tell people that at every concert. I always, I interact with my audience a lot. And I like to talk with them and tell them, hey, you know what? If you've had a good time today, there's two things you can do. Number one is you can certainly donate to us because gosh knows we need your money as a donation. And then, excuse me. Pardon me.
Bless you.
The other thing would be if you enjoy this, then come try and sing and see how it works out for you. It might be a little more than you can handle, but it might not. You might get something really rewarding out of it, and a lot of people have done that.
And I also know more than you can handle has the other thing, which is if you have a difficult passage, if you know when not to sing because you don't know your part, that's good too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because your glaring thumb. Again,
Yeah.
you really have your group being very sensitive to what they can and can't do.
Mm-hmm.
And the sound on the Ono, when we had our little preview on April 8th,
Yeah.
people that were there that heard us thought we were fantastic.
Yeah, and that was not in an acoustically friendly environment because it was, it's an Ono, so we didn't have any infrastructure in place that would make
Right.
us sound better like an acoustic shell or anything. So even in a more roughshod environment, we do it quite well, I think. So it's good.
And how many out there know Queen? Group Queen? God,
Did anybody see that movie recently at all?
yeah,
at
what
all?
was that?
What was that? Little Oscar winner? What was that? I don't know.
Bohemian Rhapsody, that is a fun thing. And then Neil Diamond, and
Yep.
songs by Neil Diamond,
Yep.
and the Beatles.
Yep.
And I don't know. I'm Still Standing, Elton John.
Elton
shows
John. We've got
Billy
Simon and
Joel,
Garfunkel.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Mamas and the Papas.
Wow.
Annie Lennox, which pushes us up into the 80s a little bit.
Right.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young.
Isn't that
Cyndi
fun?
Lauper. Yeah, so we got them all.
If you're in the audience, we could call you part of the extended choir because I don't know how everyone's going to sit in those seats and not be singing with you.
I know. And I'm not going to tell them not to terribly much, but try to contain yourselves as much as you can. But have a good time. That's the other thing is I when you come to our concerts, one of the things I tell people all the time is I don't want you to feel that you're at a concert and you need to sit there very quietly, with your tie on and just be, oh, darling, did you see, darling, that lovely concert we were at? It's just marvelous. Bring the kids, and if the kids make a little noise, so what? They're having a good time. They're being exposed to music. That's what it's all about. And if you come in, I want you people to think that basically it's as if 85 people just kind of showed up in your living room and just started jamming. And whether that's jamming to this kind of program or our holiday program, which might be more classically based, or even if we did our opera choruses concert, I wanted to have that familiarity. And I want people to feel that they are at home, whether they're in the Castle Theater or in their living room, and have that kind of that openness and that wonderful sense of enjoyment, and not feel that it's terribly something we just have to be exposed to and not have to take so seriously.
Well, even if it started out seriously, I was going to say, you look at the audience and you give them a nod. Everyone is kind of waiting for you to kind of break in. How did you begin that, interpersonal experience with the audiences?
I always felt that concert experiences should be interactive. And so whenever I'm on the podium anywhere, I've always been interactive with the audiences, as much as I can be within that given.
You write your own dialogue?
I don't write any dialogue. It all literally comes right off the top of my head as we go.
Very fun.
And I love talking with people. I love interacting with people, and I certainly don't take myself too seriously. So there's no way I'm going to take any of the rest of it too seriously. And I get a kick out of people that sometimes really think they're just too important and too self-important, and I can't be bothered with that. This is just not appropriate at all. If it's not appropriate, it has my interest.
Well,
so there you go.
And you've been able to take people from the straight chamber orchestra crew and incredible people, Cheryl, others there that are very professional, that just want a hit of someone down to earth, very professional, and make it real. You make it real.
Well, yeah. You know, whether you're a professional musician or a first timer, I try to approach all of the music that we do in a very positive, reinforcing and affirming way, so that, you know, even when, you know, something doesn't quite work out the way it's supposed to in rehearsal, you know, I don't browbeat anybody. I just, you know, try to find a way to, you know, keep people lifted up and enthusiastic about correcting little mistakes and then moving on and really getting enjoyment out of it, rather than beating them down. Because I've been fortunate to work with a lot of conductors in my life, and in some of the experiences were amazingly wonderful experiences, and some of them I only remember for the negative things that were said to me, and I vowed that I would never be that kind of conductor.
That's great. Well, from being a conductor and doing your job there in a really fun way, you have another side which I'm sure people have seen. How many of you have been seeing at the theater? Who saw the Pirates of Penzance? Raise your hand. Do you remember the king, the Pirate King? Yeah. Looks quite different here.
Looks quite different. He had a shave and got rid of his dreadlocks. And, you know, I do on-stage stuff, but not that often.
You were fun there.
Thank you. The other big things that I've done were, and I did Tevye and Fiddler on the Roof with MAPPA, and I did a couple of shows down at Pro Arts as well, Bermuda Avenue Triangle, and 25th Annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. But, you know, generally I really pick and choose what I'm going to do on stage that is suitable for my unique sort of weirdness.
Well, your unique weirdness is absolutely appropriate for Maui, isn't it?
I hope so.
It fits just so well here.
It seems like it's worked out well.
And I think we're, like I like to say, we're an example to the world of how you can be if you just, you know, let people live and be themselves and bring it all together with, you know, fun and enjoyment in the middle of it. And you really do that so very well.
Well, thank you. And, you know, everyone is welcome to come and sing with us. And we're very lucky. The breadth of the chorus demographically has changed, too, over the years. We've had singers as young as 9 and as old as 92.
Wow. Good range.
And it's wonderful to see that diversity of people from all walks of life, from all political backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds, who come together with this common love of music. And everything else gets left at the door.
I got you.
You just sit there and you have a great time and enjoy it all, and it's a beautiful thing. So,
well, I'm here with Gary Leavitt here at KAKU 88.5 FM. We're going to take a break for our sponsors and come on back and listen to a couple of pieces here with Gary Leavitt, our wonderful guest, and we'll see you soon.
Want to host your own radio talk show? You can. Once every month, KAKU 88.5 FM offers an introduction to radio class at Akaku Plaza at 333 Dairy Road in Kahului. This introduction to radio will get your feet wet and show you what you need to do to get started. Interested? Call us at 871-5554 for more information and registration. The Rising Tide Show is brought to you by the support of Maui Sporting Goods, located at 92 North Market Street in Wailuku. Maui Sporting Goods is a family-owned store specializing in water sports, equipment, spearfishing, tackle, and camping supplies. For more information, contact Maui Sporting Goods at 808-244-0011. Tune in to The Rising Tide Show live on Thursdays at 3 p.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
The Neutral Zone, with me, Jason Schwartz, would like to thank Maui Arts and Music Association, Dreammakers Foundation of Maui, for their support. Since 1991, with hundreds of television shows and their MauiArtsandMusic.com website, they have championed self-sustainability on Maui. The Neutral Zone is heard live Mondays at 11 a.m. and replayed Saturday at 7 a.m. on KAKU 88.5 FM, the voice of Maui.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
iMovie is a free editing application that comes with all Apple products and is easy to learn. Have a slideshow or video content you want to edit into a fun, compelling presentation? Come train how to navigate and use the features of iMovie for desktop using a hands-on approach in this 2-day workshop at Akaku, Friday, April 12th, and Saturday, April 13th. To register, visit akaku.org or call 871-5554.
Well, we are back. We're here at the Neutral Zone. I'm Jason Schwartz with Gary Leavitt.
Hello.
The musical director of the Maui Choral Arts Group, the Pirate and Pirates of Penzance, and who knows what the future will bring. But if you're on this island on April 28th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, when you come to the MACC and you see one of these incredible performances, you will say what I said. I don't care what these guys sing. They are having so much fun. I want to sing with them, and this guy that's leading them, he is terrific. And, you know, you really have made the experience when I watch choral groups. You know, after a while, because I guess I don't listen carefully, they all can sound a lot the same. But
Sure.
You bring so much to the experience. I mean, we watch you. I mean, I remember as an audience member before I got on the stage, I was like, I'm really torn. Do I want to be in the audience or on the stage? That's a great tearing inside.
It is. Every once in a while, you know, one of our singers will have to miss too many rehearsals, and so they're not going to make it for the concert, so they come as an audience member.
Right.
And they always come back to me and they go, wow, it's just such a different experience to be in the audience. It's so cool. I'm like, yeah, it's nice to be in the front. Of course, I get that opportunity every day.
You are having a good time.
Oh, yeah. I'm lucky. I'm the luckiest man on Maui.
So are you from New York? Or are you
I am.
You are?
Yep.
How did Maui call you? Because it was work-related?
It was work-related, yeah. I came over to take over a financial services business back in 2001.
Sure.
And it was in April of 2001. And then there was a whole big confluence of events that kind of, destiny sort of shaped my world in a different way. And after 9/11 had happened and the subsequent stock market crash that happened at the same time, it just sort of was a sign to me it was time to go and do something else. And I decided to move into a different employment realm at that point. But I never thought once about leaving Maui, so I've been here ever since.
Well, it's really funny when you say financial world or federal employee. You've branded as the music guy here. You are.
Well, that makes me happy.
To me, you are the guy in the center of. If there's something going on, you and the other guy that's doing that is Bob Wills. And you guys are
gosh, yes,
friends and singing together and running different musical groups. Yep. What a great thing we have.
Pretty much every performance that involves singing will either have Bob in the front conducting or me in the front conducting. And if one of us is in the front conducting, the other one is usually singing. And
That's
it's
right.
And it's a great, wonderful dynamic that Bob and I have together. He runs the Maui Chamber Orchestra, and he has created some of the most memorable classical masterworks performances that we've ever had between the Haydn Creation, the Mozart Requiem, the Bach Magnificat, all these big, wonderful, gorgeous works of the big choral repertoire. And, no one can do it with the precision and the depth of understanding and analysis that Bob brings to the table. He is by far one of the most talented musicians I've ever met anywhere in my travels around the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
And many say that about you.
Well, that's very
good.
kind. That's very kind.
Especially put the two of you together, we are unbeatable here.
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
So I noticed Bob's not singing with us this time in the Choral Arts Group, but that's because he's got yet another show coming up. My goodness.
So much stuff going on all the time.
So here, those in the theater community can't help but know that the head of MAPA, David Johnston, has been
my dear friend,
ill and had a significant health challenge and is now back. What's on the slate coming up? Do you want to tell us?
Well, MAPPA has got all kinds of wonderful things on their agenda for life going forward that are in different phases of planning and execution. Part of it, as you had mentioned earlier, part of their intention is to take some of the real estate that they've purchased with the help of some wonderful grants and loans from the USDA and other organizations to try to turn Wailuku into this arts center. They're going to be building a black box theater, which will allow them to get back to having full-time theater performances on their local campus, expanding their offerings on their dance world, what they're really known for.
Right.
And then I'm sure that once we get through all of that process, probably by next summer we'll probably get back to doing the big summer shows again.
So likely this summer, you don't?
No, we're
expect
taking
to
this
see?
summer off
I
as
see.
far as the big summer shows. There's just
Okay.
too much else going on right now, and with David just coming back, as you
I was
said,
going to say,
it's
welcome
been a
back,
bit much.
David. We're happy to have you back.
We
We're
are
happy
thrilled to have
you.
him back, have him at all.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are blessed, and like he said, this local community was there and loving him from a distance.
Absolutely.
And we're so thankful.
Yeah.
I am every time I've been involved in the theater here, and I've because I think there's too many. You'll tell me there's always time for rehearsal. You just have to sort of cut your job out and sort of
you make it work. You make it work. So for a couple of months you don't sleep. That's
What's that?
What's sleep? It's overrated anyway. So it's all good.
But the experiences, there are so many wonderful, talented people. I can't imagine. I say it in a funny way. I've sung in Los Angeles and I've sung in New York, but on Maui, the people here have so much heart. They're so personable.
And there's a lot of passion.
Oh, amazing!
And they care deeply about the work that they do. Yeah, and whether that's the singers like Liana Locke, who does again both sides of the fence, her singing as well as her acting. People like that, and Katie Vincent, and now coming up as the new leading man, Keegan Otterson, who's fantastic. Dylan Bodie, who's just come back to us from having been in Wisconsin for a few years. Logan Heller, Francis Tawa, who's like a national treasure for Maui because he can do anything. To people like Kathy Collins, who are so versatile and are so interwoven in everything that happens on Maui. In fact, she's going to be hosting our concert and being our MC for the concert on the 28th. There's just so many talented people here, and I can't even name them all. Kirsten Otterson, Keegan's mother.
That's the excitement about Maui
it's
Theater.
Wonderful.
And in the choral arts group, I mean, it's all kinds of people. I saw Joy Fields was there,
absolutely,
voice teacher. Yep. All kinds of people are involved.
You've got voice teachers, music teachers, instrumentalists. You've got people who work in government, for the county, for the state, for the federal government, business owners, people who work in fast food restaurants. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody who loves to sing comes in, and we're all in the same boat, and we start paddling, hopefully, in the same direction, and it all works out.
That's right. And if not, I tell you, the audience, I have never, ever gone to a performance here where I didn't hear the audience say, virtually every time, man, that was the best show I've ever seen on Maui. That is a common line, because the quality level is up there.
My goal is to have people walk out smiling. If they walk out smiling, we've done what we set out to do.
Right. Well, I'm going to play a few pieces here just because I want to give the audience a feeling of something.
Okay.
Let's see if they remember some of these things. Let's hear. See if you can recognize it. Oh, this was a piece during rehearsal. I guess we're not here.
There we go.
Now,
a little bit of
it is so fascinating to watch you work. And go ahead.
A little bit of the Long and Winding Road. Yeah, that's good stuff.
The Beatles, Long and Winding Road. To hear the harmonies, when you hear it in performance, you hear it fast and it goes by, but when you're doing it slow, you get to really experience. And I'm telling you, I'm sure you know, you are a master. It just to watch the faces of people watching you as you you take this thing called music and you make it alive and you make it visual for them. It's just really terrific.
Well, I believe very strongly that music is a living thing, and these concerts that we create are living things that have such an ephemeral and short lifespan. You know, when you go to a concert, and if you go to any live concert anywhere in the world, any live performance anywhere in the world, what you see that night, you will never see exactly the same way ever again.
Right.
It is a unique, fragile thing that exists for that moment in time, and then it only exists in memory. And even if you record it, you can make DVDs out of it, it doesn't matter. The experience that you have live in that theater on that night is something that will only exist for that moment, and then it's gone forever.
Right.
Because the experience of the live music and the energy that comes from the people who are experiencing it in the audience that you're sitting next to, that are around you, will never be exactly the same ever again. I could do the same concert 20 times. It'll be completely different 20 times.
And I'm sure that when you get to the end of the show, you see, they hit this mark, they didn't do that, they didn't do this. But it is all just wonderful.
Yeah, none of that matters.
Wonderful. And especially the audience who's hearing it fresh always loves it. It's been an extremely fun experience. I'm going to play another one. Let's see what we get this time.
Okay.
You want me to come? I can hear you guys out there. You all know the words. You're going to be singing along. You guys singing with us? I don't care too much for money.
That's good stuff.
I'm having fun. So you can hear, we're all having fun learning these songs. It's interesting also to see people that never heard Queen before.
It's really funny, because we make assumptions sometimes based on our own backgrounds. Like, well, surely everyone has heard this before,
right?
And then you ask for the raised hands, and you see that nobody has. And it's like, oh, okay, all right.
And then you say, well, there happens to be a current movie out. You
might want to go see it. It'll give you a little idea who these people were, because they're still playing. And for our more mature members, when we get into some of the 80s music, and I was like, does anybody know Annie Lennox? And nobody knows.
Isn't that funny?
I'm like, did you ever hear the Eurythmics back in the 80s? Big band in the 80s, the Eurythmics. Then all of a sudden, oh, yeah. Well, she went solo after that, and this is from the solo album.
See, we have great material here.
All kinds of stuff.
Really, just very fun. And as someone singing up there, you don't get bored.
No.
None of these are the same. They're all little unique gems that you've found, and you give us all to have a wonderful experience. Think of all the sheet music there. I mean, my goodness.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of sheet music. Do they give you credit when you turn them back in? No.
Oh, no. You can't turn them back in. No.
Yeah, the old Samuel French. I remember it in the music business. All the written, you always wonder, what about this? Then you get into the choral world and you see all this sheet music is going out all the time.
All the time.
The backbone of the music industry.
That's it. You bet. I mean, we it costs a pretty penny to get 100 copies of 15 pieces of music and get it out to folks. And we manage very carefully to keep the cost low for the individual singers so that it's accessible for everyone. We don't want anyone to feel that cost is an issue to joining the chorus, so we make that possible.
Yeah, you do. Who did this poster? When I looked at it, I was thinking...
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. The last two concerts now, the Christmas concert, which had that wonderful dove on it and everything, and this one were done by a wonderful young lady by the name of Courtney Holland, who also sings in the group a lot of the time. And she is a graphic designer, and she does freelance work. And she came up with this wonderful concept for our postcard and our poster, which is very reminiscent of the work of the great Milton Glaser, who was one of the biggest ad people of the 60s and 70s, who created a lot of the big ad campaigns of the 60s. And that's where she came up with all the swirling colors, the color bands, and it was really a great way to...
If you see this on some store, you should say to them, well, if I buy 4 tickets, and for you guys, will you let me have that poster? I think there'd be. Will she sign them? She'll sign them.
She'll sign them. She'll be happy to sign them.
Are you kidding?
She does great work, and she's available for all kinds of freelance stuff too.
Yeah, those were the days. Well, April 28th. How do you just sort of take a? I'm sure you're fine-tuning your calendar. What a busy place Maui is.
It
is.
You
think you got an empty spot in the schedule, and then you go, how come everyone picked the date that I picked? What is that?
Yeah. Well, one of the nice things about WPAA is it's helped us resolve that problem.
Right.
Because if you register on the WPAA, which is WPAAMaui.com website, you get a unified calendar.
Isn't that great?
Shows you when everybody's performances are.
So you guys don't overlap purposely.
Right. And so
set up.
We all talk to each other, the heads of the different organizations, and we plot out our calendars to try to not interfere on performances. Sometimes, of course, rehearsals will overlap, and that's fine. We make that work. But we try to make sure the performances don't overlap. Like we've staked out for our, because we only do 2 concerts a year, that the Sunday after Thanksgiving is always our holiday concert.
So remember that one, guys.
Right. So and this year that'll be December the 1st.
Okay.
So the Sunday after Thanksgiving, we like to be the ones that kick off the holiday season, and then we're usually followed shortly thereafter by a week by the Pops, and then usually that's when Maui Chamber Orchestra does their next thing, and somewhere right in there also MAPPA usually has their big dance extravaganza like Nutcracker every other year and those types of things. Then the spring concert, that one's got a little more flexibility when we schedule it. We always shoot for the end of April, early May. Part of that is to catch our traveling population, because some of our folks don't stay here year-round. And so we try to get them before they leave. Some people leave for the summers, and some people are just coming in. So there's that weird crossover time. So we try to get it right after Easter and right before the beginning of May.
Well, this is a perfect time now, April 28th.
Yep. It'll be the Sunday after Easter, so you've got nothing to do because Easter's over. So come on.
That's right. Come on out and enjoy this thing. When you think about music on Maui, and you've mentioned some of the people any people you extremely just have a fantastic time working with. You mentioned Liana Locke and Katie Vincent.
Yeah.
I've seen those guys do, I shouldn't say guys, but great performances, amazing.
Incredible level of artistry. When you sit, I can listen to Liana sing all day, every day, and not get bored. She is a lyric soprano, and she's got so many tools in her toolbox that wherever she chooses to apply that, whether it's in musical theater or in a concert performance, she's absolutely incredible. I love working with her. She's open to exploring new levels of nuance and other areas of interpretation that she may not have originally thought of. And because of the way I hear things, I may, hey, try this, see what you think. How does that make you feel? Do you like the way that feels? And Katie's the same way. They're very open to these wonderful ideas, and they've come with a wonderful background in this repertoire that they then apply, and they're just so great to work with. Some of the newer people like Keegan Otterson, who's an amazing musician who has an amazingly carefully tuned ear, and he can pick up things with almost no rehearsal whatsoever. He's
great. Yeah,
he's almost prodigy level. Again, also very open to interpretation, thoughts, and working with them and things like that. And Kirsten Otterson was an amazing joy to do work with on Into the Woods that we just did this past summer.
Right.
And just the breadth of the abilities that we have. People like Logan Heller, who can be wonderful baritones and yet have the range to sing as tenors as well, which gives us the ability to put him Into the Woods as the baker, where he also has an amazing rich baritone voice. So it's just, we're so lucky. We're just so lucky. It's for me, it's like Christmas every day whenever I get to work with these people, and I'm just so blessed and lucky.
Well, and you I keep saying it, you do a really terrific job. Every single show that we see here on Maui has that stamp, and like you say, it's either you or Bob Wills, but it has that stamp of someone really, helping make this all come together beautifully. Thank you for that.
Oh, it's my passion, it's my love, it's what gets me up in the morning, working with people like David Johnston, and when we sit down and we work on a show together, it's magical because we can almost see what each other's thoughts are going to be on something, and then we just start to collaborate, and things just kind of bubble up. And then you bring someone in like Andre Morissette for choreography, or this last year when we were working with Yezi for choreography, and it all just kind of blends together in this beautiful synergy. And we're like, hey, what about we try that? Let's try that. Can we do that? Great. All right, we need to add like 4 more bars in here. Can we add more 4 bars? And I'm like, yeah, of course we could add 4 more bars in. And we just make adjustments as we go, and it's so much fun. It's great.
Well, and it shows. I mean, it really is a wonderful thing. Have in these years that have gone here on Maui, as I'm going, I've seen. This may be a different subject, but kind of the same. There's outside of the theater world, less and less venues are around for music. A lot of the local musicians that are more pop, I want to say pop, country, Hawaiian, don't have places to play. Have you any thoughts? Are there any thoughts in the WPAA about bringing in more contemporary, other kind of music?
Absolutely. I think if we, follow what the
Wailuku plan?
What the Wailuku plan is to its ultimate fruition, we're going to have, this campus available in Wailuku, which in theory will have not a smaller black box theater, which can be used then for concert performances. We'll have EO Theater right over there, which is a good mid-size, theater, and I think we're going to help create spaces.
And they say, more restaurants, more activities will be coming in, and hopefully
Absolutely.
more place to enjoy more music all the time.
All the time. There's, in those plans, there's a small outdoor amphitheater built in. And so there's the opportunity for live music to be formed outdoors for people as they're just enjoying town and wandering around and shopping and going for a dinner over here or cocktails over there, and then going to the theater and making it an all-immersive experience. We want people to spend more time in Wailuku and make it a thriving place. That's what I think everyone wants.
Yeah, I think that we all want that. Huh?
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. This is April of 2019.
It is, I think.
If you were looking into the future, do you have any kind of direction that you're going specifically, musically? Or you're just taking it as it's going now?
I'm just enjoying each moment as they come. There's all kinds of hopes and dreams that I always keep in the back of my mind that I hope we sort of continue to work towards. And so far that we've been moving in those directions, and that is to bring more and more quality music to people in as many places as we can. And I think we're doing a good job with that, and I wanted to continue to see that grow and blossom. I think as long as we keep moving in that direction, we're definitely in the right direction.
Right. So we have 5 minutes left, and I have this desire, I think only because we're a show and we're on radio, we should give them a little bit of music. I'm trying to think of which we should want to give them a little chance to hear. I'm going to take, this is a piece from the Ono that just went on. I'm going to just slide it and see where it comes out. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here. There's a Beatles song.
Yeah, a little yesterday.
This was in the EO Theater. I had someone standing with a phone. Now, can you see yourself as an audience sitting there with your lips quiet? I don't see any way that people can get through this music. See, I just want to keep listening.
And this was only half of our members who made it to the Ono. So we weren't going to be able to fit 100 people on stage.
I mean, I'm just looking. I think it's so fun. Here, let's see. This is a little later. Some of you know that. That's California Dreamin' for us old folks.
Yeah.
Young guys don't know that. They should.
And this is a really cool arrangement that we found, which is a fairly upbeat song, and then takes it and stretches it out into a much more introspective, almost mysterious exploration of the lyrics. And it's really, really pretty. You
really have fun taking songs, like you say, and putting them into a totally different kind of a feel.
That's my favorite thing.
Here's one. Oh, look at that. I think if some people think it belongs to this, but I know this is written by Neil Diamond. See, you can hear him singing in the audience. See, it's going to be hard to get everything.
Oh,
You're going to have so much fun.
It's going to be a blast. Everyone's going to have a great time.
So I'm going to stop. There was a spot back here. How can I say, does anyone know Sweet Caroline?
Oh, my gosh.
Let's see here.
That was it, yeah.
Oh, here it comes. The audience was so active. Here we go. Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
Can you imagine everyone's wearing their black formal attire, and the audience is singing along. Ba, ba, ba.
Oh, yeah. It's great. It's great.
Your shows are always so much fun. I'm glad that you choose material like you do, because you make it so fun. As an audience, even the classical pieces, I would find myself singing along. You just have a really good sense of what the audience is going to like.
And that's hopefully, what we find when we do like the holiday concerts is you'll find songs that we all know, and then just find really cool arrangements of them and go, wow, I've never heard this like that before. And, we just try to have a good time with it.
Well, can you imagine we only have another minute before we're out of here? We have been here speaking with Gary Leavitt, the conductor, director extraordinaire of the Maui Choral Arts Group. Remember, if you're out there at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center on April 28th, Sunday at 3 p.m., you should go out and get your tickets while there's some really good seats still available, I hope. At the Castle Theater, those were the days, Maui Choral Arts. Gary, it's really been a pleasure having you here.
Thank you so much.
I wish you only success, and I really am thankful to be in your group. You make it a lot of fun.
Thank you.
We want to make sure that everyone out there knows that we will be back here next week, same time, same station at the MauiNeutralZone.com. You can go up and see this show and hear it at MauiNeutralZone.com. Go on YouTube and find it. In a day, you'll find it. And have fun with us. We are so happy to be here with you every week. Thank you for joining us. We are going to sign off, I believe. Let me see where I'm at. If I can find the button. Here we go.